Welcome back, curious souls, to part 2 of our fourfold chronicle. I still sit by the guttering candle in Dragonstone's library, quill poised over parchment that trembles with fresh omens. You have witnessed a wolf outwit a lion, a crown of plain iron gleam where rubies once burned, and wildfire claim a king whose justice proved colder than the wall. Yet be warned, the board is merely reset, not at rest. Ahead lie simmering grudges and restless hosts. Tywin Lannister broods in defeat, Renly's charm curdles into ambition, and the small folk whisper that even King Ned's mercy cannot thaw the coming winter. So stoke the hearth and draw closer. The next turn of the game will test every oath sworn, every banner raised, and every heart that still dares to hope. Dawn at King's Landing. Morning breaks over a kingdom balanced on the edge of disaster. Ned Stark, leaning on his cane, limps through marble corridors, still nursing the leg he injured in Littlefinger's trap. King Robert Baratheon lies on his deathbed, gutted by the same boar he hunted in a drunken stupor. Meanwhile, Cersei Lannister's golden-haired children wait to claim a throne that by right of blood should never be theirs. From this moment on, every breath is a bargain and every heartbeat a wager, as honor learns to speak the language of secrets. The Great Council in Baelor's Sept. Under the towering statues of the Seven, nobles fill Baelor's Sept from every corner of Westeros except Casterly Rock. Direwolf banners hang beside those of the Stormlands. The Falcon of the Vale faces the Golden Rose of Highgarden, and even the flayed man of House Bolton is present. When a Stark calls, the North answers. Grand Maester Pycelle drones through lineages, reciting every black-haired Baratheon from Orys Baratheon onward. The contrast with Prince Joffrey's bright curls is impossible to ignore. When Pycelle's shaky finger rests on the phrase, "The seed is strong," Ned Stark steps forward. He presents Tobhomat's sworn statement naming the black-haired boy Gendry as Robert's unmistakable son and reminds the assembly, through Sir Barristan's testimony, of the king's many dark-haired bastards scattered across King's Landing. In that instant, the council sees how little the royal children resemble the man they call father, while Lord Stannis, grim, lawful, and very much of Robert's blood, stands ready. The High Septon anoints Stannis with 7 holy oils, giving the realm a new king through evidence on parchment and Ned Stark's sudden mastery of intrigue. Stannis crowned, Renly appeased. Stannis wears the crown as though it were a hair shirt, the fire-red rubies on his brow unable to brighten the hard line of his mouth. On Ned's advice, he publicly embraces his younger brother, Renly, who kneels with a cheerful smile that barely conceals simmering resentment. Ned soothes Renly's wounded pride by confirming Storm's End will retain all its ancient rights and ensuring he receives a seat on the small council as Master of Laws. For the realm, simply seeing 2 Baratheon brothers in the same hall without drawn blades feels like a miracle. The Lion marches east. The next ravens carry grimmer news. Tywin Lannister has left Casterly Rock with 40,000 soldiers, Jaime commanding the vanguard, and vowing to free Cersei. Villages in the Riverlands burn as they pass. Ned responds at once. He instructs Robb Stark to summon his banners and march south, orders Edmure Tully to hold every crossing of the Trident, and warns Mace Tyrell that his fertile fields will run red if he lets Lannister spears roam unchecked. Each letter is stamped with Robert's broken stag and sealed in Stark wax, a quiet reminder that Ned Stark now speaks with the voice of the crown. Cersei tries a silk-hidden dagger. Even in confinement, Cersei Lannister turns beauty into a weapon. She tempts Peter Baelish with the promise of Harrenhal and a Lannister bride if he will spirit her children to safety. Littlefinger instead takes the offer to Ned, suggesting that a public trial ending with Cersei's quiet exile to the Silent Sisters would be far cleaner than blood. He proposes sending the royal children to Casterly Rock As hostages, once Tywin kneels. But Ned sees the trap. Hostages would give the Old Lion an excuse to keep plotting. He rules instead that the children will be sent to Oldtown under the Faith's protection, daring Tywin to assault the impregnable Hightower to reach them. Littlefinger accepts the decision with a graceful bow. Yet Ned notices the hungry spark in the man's eyes. Siege of Ashford and Tyrell resolve. Tywin crosses the Mander searching for grain, only to find scorched fields. Mace Tyrell has thrown his support behind the crown. Reach soldiers encircle Ashford Castle, divert rivers, and strangle Lannister supply lines. Jaime Lannister attempts a breakout, but finds Sir Loras and Sir Garland Tyrell barring the way. 3 times he charges, 3 times numbers and resolve beat back his valor. As the siege drags on, Tywin demands Cersei's release. Ned's answer is stark. If House Lannister wants peace, it must first bend the knee and face judgment. The Old Lion prepares for a long war of attrition instead. Robb's first battle. Robb Stark leads 30,000 Northmen south, their banners, a bear, a flayed man, a merman, streaming beside the direwolf. At Moat Cailin, 10,000 Vale Knights join them, Lysa Arryn's penance, after evidence ties her to Jon Arryn's murder. Lord Walder Frey ferries the army across the Twins in exchange for a web of betrothal promises. Reunited with Edmure Tully near River Run, Robb wins his first clash at the Red Fork. Though scouts warn Tywin's main strength remains intact, hungry but still dangerous. The trial of Cersei Lannister. The High Septon convenes court in the vast, half-ruined dragon pit so even commoners can watch. Cersei arrives in mourning black, her children watching from a balcony. She faces charges of treason, murder, adultery, and incest. Varys produces servants who saw Ser Jaime in her bedchamber. Littlefinger presents ledgers detailing hush payments. Ser Barristan describes strange potions slipped into Robert's drink. Cersei laughs it all away until Tyrion takes the stand and calmly describes her plan to create a new dynasty of lion-blooded heirs. Found guilty, she is sentenced to life as a silent sister, her hair shorn and her name struck from royal rolls. Ned Stark's mercy spares her head, but her power is gone. The Battle of Ashford Field. Winter's first chill settles over Ashford as Tywin's soldiers starve. At dawn, he attacks Sir Garland's flank, hoping to break the Tyrell line before snow deepens. He nearly succeeds until Robb Stark's host bursts from the King's Road. Northern infantry and Vale lancers smash into the Lannister army. Robb duels Jaime briefly before a Northman's mace knocks the Kingslayer senseless. By nightfall, Tywin retreats across the Mander, leaving 12,000 dead or captured, and House Lannister reeling. Discontent in the capital. Victory brings new troubles. King Stannis rules with iron and no warmth. He flays looters, jails lords who answered his summons late, and raises taxes while refusing grain relief for a hungry city. Renly grumbles, Littlefinger plots, and even Ned feels a chill at the king's rigid sense of justice. People whisper that the realm may have traded one tyrant for another. Littlefinger's final play. Peter Baelish decides the time is right to topple Stannis and raise Ned Stark. He sends Tywin a forged promise of safe passage to King's Landing, then spreads rumors that Stannis plans to break that promise and seize Tywin on arrival. The Old Lion instead halts outside the city, bombarding the riverbanks with lamp oil barrels that ignite the wildfire stored there. King's Landing panics as green fire roars against its walls. The death of King Stannis. King Stannis rides the battlements and orders his fleet to burn the Lannister ships, but sailors hesitate to sail through wildfire. In frustration, he lights his own arrows with the green flames, shooting 3 in quick succession. A gust of wind turns one back. Sparks land on his cloak, and the wildfire clings to him. Within moments, Stannis Baratheon becomes a screaming torch, the crown on his head melting like wax. Wolves at the gate. Believing the city leaderless, Tywin orders an assault on the King's Gate. He does not know Robb Stark's army hides in the Kingswood. As Lannister rams pound the gate, direwolf banners charge from the trees into the Lannister rear. Trapped between stone walls and northern fury, Tywin's host breaks. The Lord of Casterly Rock flees across the Blackwater, abandoning his son and grandchildren to the mercy of the wolves. A throne without a Baratheon. Renly's link to Tywin's march is exposed through papers whispered into existence by Littlefinger. The lords distrust him. A second great council meets. Small folk throng the steps of the Sept, chanting for the Starks. Ned refuses the crown 3 times, yet Robb kneels and begs him to accept, insisting the realm needs mercy, tempered by strength. Ned agrees on the condition that former Lannister soldiers may live if they swear loyalty within a month. The High Septon places Robert's plain iron hunting crown on Eddard's brow, proclaiming him King Eddard I. Peace in winter's dawn. For the first time in memory, the North, the Vale, the Reach, and the Stormlands stand united. Gendry is legitimized as Lord Gendry Baratheon of the Stormlands, preserving Robert's memory. Robb becomes Warden of the North, while Renly, pardoned, serves as Master of Whisperers, his ambition anchored by Stark trust. After a month-long siege at River Run, Tywin Lannister submits to save Jaime, lowering his head before Ned for all the realm to see. Eddard then rides north with Queen Catelyn, welcomed by villagers shouting, "Winter but warm," as they line the roads to Winterfell. Direwolf banners stand beside heart trees across every region, a new symbol of roots that run deep and true. For a season, Westeros tastes peace because one wolf chose strategy over rigid honor. Some claim King Ned rules 40 years. Others whisper that dragons stir overseas, that walking ice gathers in the far north, and that krakens ready their claws at Pike. The game is only reset, not ended, and the cost of Ned Stark's crown may yet exceed any battlefield's price. The parchment ends here, and the candle at my desk gutters to its last ember. But dawn is coming, and with it, new pieces will move across the board.